Martin was 5 when his parents had a divorce. He was shared 6 months a year between his father and his mum. He had his own room and enjoyed the spoils of his family alone. Though blessed, he had a weakness. The big house he lived in could never be called home. They had an arrangement, both of his parents, to come live in the big house when it was their turn. He loved to have his mother around, but dreaded the time he'd spend with his dad. You see, his father had a different view of discipline, though Martins rather enjoyed thinking he was insane. There were days when he was always on his toes to avoid extreme punishments. Some he did without his clothes. Anyway, that was years back. Martins was 25 and he could see his father whenever he liked. He tried his best to keep it at the bare minimum: birthdays, Christmas, and forced family get-togethers at the regular sports club. Today was his dad's birthday and he had to go visit. He just had to, though he didn't like it. His father showed up at the doorstep full of smiles. Martins never expected that reaction for a bottle of wine. His father laughed and said that he looked the same, then asked if he stayed to watch the game. The familiarity made Martins uncomfortable, so he bade farewell and made to head home. His father's face fell at the start of his words, and without warning he read out a verse. Since the time you were born, you never knew me as a father for very long. I drank and spat and called you names, only ever stopped when your mother came. It's been years, son, and I've tried so hard to make all those memories be a thing of the past. I ask for your forgiveness, and on this day, if you really do love me, then please stay. Martins felt something he never felt in front of his father. He felt guilty, and that made him angry. He wasn't the one who messed up the memories or treated anyone with any less dignity. If anything, he was the victim. So why make him out to be the bad person? Martins left the house without a word and never visited for over 6 months. That was until he got the news his father was dying, and that got him confused. His father was just 58. Surely there had to be some sort of mistake. Unfortunately, he was in for a surprise. His father had long since suffered lung cancer. The sight of him tore Martins' heart out, the look in his eyes as misty as the clouds. Martins' father lay on a hospital bed with white floors and white ceiling over his head. Even in his state, his father smiled, and that broke something inside him. It made Martins cry. Martins found himself beside his father night and day and would whisper to his unconscious father every day. Since the time I was born, I never knew you for a father for very long. You drank and spat and called me names. You only ever stopped when my mother came. It's been years and you've tried so hard to make all those memories be a thing of the past. I already forgive you, Father, and on this day, if you really do love me, then please stay. He felt a fresh bout of shame when he saw how much his father was in pain. He should have cared more, loved more. He thought of the things he could have done before this happened. How could he make things right? Show his father he was forgiven. Just like other days when his father woke up, he moaned, groaned, and muttered a curse, and Martins would laugh as he got up to get to nurse. Today, however, his father held on to his hand and forced Martins to look at him and understand. Martins tried to talk, shout, cry. He could read the words right there in his father's eyes. Since the time you were born, you never knew me as a father for very long. I drank and spat and called you names, only ever stopped when your mother came. It's been years, son, and I've tried so hard to make all those memories be a thing of the past. And now that I know that I am alone, my very last wish is that you let me go. Martins did nothing but stared, read, reread, and chanted the message in his head. How could his father think like that? Think he would just let him die? But his father did that thing again where he just looked at him and smiled. So there he was, holding his father. Neither of them could utter a word. It was the world's fastest countdown, with the room so quiet you'd forget there's such a thing as sound. He watched his father's eyelids flutter and felt his father's grip falter. Before he caught himself, he'd started to weep. In the deafening silence, the monitor beeped its last beep.